drill I'm going to show you is one of the most important drills you'll ever learn. It's going to teach you how to stay in your posture and hit it solid. It will also help you protect your back. This is how your back should move during the golf swing. It moves much less than you might think. On the backswing, the whole spine, along with the pelvis, moves toward the right toe. During transition, the whole spine, including the pelvis, moves slightly ahead of where it was at address. Then, from delivery to finish, the pelvis moves slightly to the left and the bottom part of the spine moves slightly forward. When spine movement is minimized, it protects the back from injury and also allows you to swing faster. Next is an excerpt from my 2-hour DVD, Biomechanics of a Simple Golf Swing. We need to understand how to use the peroneus muscle in order to do this drill properly.
Now I want to talk to you about the peroneus muscle. It's really kind of a magic muscle because it does so many things in the golf swing that are good. If you take your posture and contract the peroneus muscle like we talked about in the first part of this chapter, the little toe is off the ground, even the big toe is a little bit off the ground, and there's a little space on the outside of the right foot, and that's the peroneus muscle contracting, and you can feel it start to burn if you haven't used it for a while. Now the first thing I want to show you about it is it keeps you in your posture, your front to back posture. If you have it contracted real hard and you try to stand up, you really feel a lot of pressure not allowing you to do that. I want all of you to try this. And then put your foot flat on the floor and just relax the peroneus muscle, and then you'll see how easy it is to come out of your posture. So this is the magic of the peroneus muscle. The peroneus also does some other really good things. The second thing that it does when it's contracted is that it prevents the right hip and the shin from sliding to the right. And so that's another good thing. We don't want it sliding to the right because, again, we're going to be changing our posture. Okay, the third thing that it does, and a very important thing, is that when it's contracted and you're at the top of your swing, it prevents this hip from coming out too early. One of the big problems, even with tour players, is the hips, this right hip goes out too early, and then it forces the hands out, and then the hands have to come back into the body, and that's not really the best way to swing a golf club. The next thing the peroneus does is it really helps to keep the right leg from straightening, which we really don't want to do in the golf swing because it puts our hip way back too far. And when we have that peroneus contracted, it prevents that right leg from straightening. So, as you can see, the peroneus is a magic muscle and it does a lot of great things in the golf swing. Let me show you the peroneus on Sammy. So this is the right fibula and the right tibia, the bigger bone, but the peroneus origin is on the right fibula. It actually is two muscles, but they act as one. When one contracts, the other contracts, and they both go into the same tendon. So the origin of the peroneus is here and here on the fibula, but this is a very unusual muscle, and it does so many things in the golf swing, but it's also unusual in the fact that its tendon actually comes around and wraps around underneath the foot, and the insertion is right there. And so when it contracts, it pulls this way. So what's going to happen when the muscle contracts is, because this tendon is underneath the foot, it's going to pull the foot outward and back a little bit like this.
The last step is to contract the peroneus muscle, which is on the outside of the right leg. As Chris does this, he will feel the big toe and the little toe of his right foot come off the ground slightly, and the contact point will change to the back of the inside of the right heel. The easiest way to identify this muscle is to use your golf club as a cane in your right hand and pick your right foot off the ground. Try to make your right little toe come up and go toward the inside of your right heel, then set your foot back down on the ground. Here's Nick doing the drill. It looks simple, but there's a lot to it, and we'll go through it. Place the feet a couple inches apart and flare out the left foot. Contract the peroneus muscle. Play the ball off the inside of your right foot. On the backswing, the hips are going to move toward the right toe, the left hip coming out more than the right hip. Simultaneously, the left arm lifts and the right shoulder goes straight back. At the top of his backswing, his right shoulder is behind his head is moved slightly to the right, and now the weight is over the right foot. He has also maintained his spine angle. The hips have turned, but the right hip has not gone behind him. The left hip has come out toward the target line, and the right hip has come out a little bit. Now the weight is over the right toes. From the top of the backswing during transition, the whole spine will move forward, as will the head. At delivery, the spine is on the same tilt and slightly forward of where it was at address. The left hip moves forward in a curve away from the target line, and now the weight is on the ball of the left foot. At delivery, the hip should be parallel to the target line, and the shoulders should be closed 45 degrees. Remember, the whole spine has to move forward along with the head to delivery. The left shoulder stays down, and the shoulders are parallel to the ground. From delivery to finish, the head doesn't move forward. The shoulders and the head rotate around the top of the spine. The spine is still during impact. At delivery, two more things need to happen. The belly should first go forward and then curve to the left. The back should arch through impact. This allows the right shoulder not to come out too early. The second thing that needs to happen is a continuation of rotation of the upper arms in a counterclockwise motion through impact. The correct rotation of the right upper arm is done by the anterior head of the right deltoid muscle. This rotation of the upper arms creates great clubhead speed. The rotation of both upper arms should start from the top of the swing and continue through impact. The left upper arm is controlled by the posterior head of the left deltoid muscle. It rotates the upper arm counterclockwise and pulls the left upper arm slightly forward. Continue rotating the upper arms through impact and you will obtain great clubhead speed. At impact, the spine angle will be the same as it was at address. The weight will be on the left foot and the right foot will still be on the ground. The abdomen has moved properly through impact and the back is arched. Also, the spine angle has been maintained. Let's look at Nick doing the drill in slow motion. He's maintained his spine angle at the top and all the way to the finish. Now let's take a look at this composite photo. You can see that the spine angle has hardly changed position at all. From behind down the line, Nick is in great posture. He maintains this posture at the top of his backswing and all the way through the swing to the finish. It is this spine angle maintenance, both front to back and side to side, that protects the back. You won't have back injuries if you're able to do this. When the spine is in the correct position, you're able to swing harder without fear of injury. Now let's take a look and see what happens when you swing the wrong way. On the backswing, Nick's weight goes to the left. His head dips down to the left, and all the weight stays on the left side. This puts him in a position that he has to come back the other way, so his head will go to the right during the downswing and through impact. The spine angle is changing dramatically, and it's causing a curve in the spine while rotation occurs through impact. This is a very dangerous way to swing a golf club and is the cause of many back injuries. Look what happens to Nick's head. On the backswing, it dips down, and then on the forward swing, it has to go to the right, and he loses his spine angle dramatically. The spine angle has become straight up and down at the top of the backswing. The right hip has gone behind him, and the weight is still on the left side. During the forward swing, the spine has been driven backwards, as has the head. The left hip has been driven forward, the weight's on the right side, and his hips have been forced to go underneath him. You can see in this composite how different the spine angles are. This is a recipe for back problems. It's also a recipe for inconsistent shots. Take several swings with your feet together and try to do it correctly. When you've mastered it, go ahead and take a regular swing, but pretend your feet are still together. In other words, you have ghost feet. Swing around your ghost feet. You're going to have a lot better balance and hit the ball a lot more solidly. Just to review, first start doing the drill by stopping at the top. Then cut down the time at the top, and finally, you'll be able to do it without stopping at the top. Then, start with your feet together, spread your feet apart, pretend you have ghost feet, and swing around the ghost feet. So the spine drill teaches us proper weight shift, teaches us to maintain our posture and limits abnormal spine movement, and it promotes arms to swing freely. Remember, the secret of the golf swing and preventing back injuries is spine angle maintenance. If you enjoyed this video, give us your email address, and every week or two we'll send you a free blog and a free video.